So I'm going to be talking about different types of testing and why we do testing. We can't just do testing, as like Max said, just for the sake of testing. We have to have a goal in mind. And part of the why is the question we have to answer is that we need to know why we're doing these tests. We have to have a reason. We need to know what we're going to learn if the test passes. What are we going to do if it fails? We have to have a point to this so we get a rapid feedback cycle and we have a way to remediate. Part of that is going to be with timing, right? Should I do this right now? Is it the right time to spend time doing this type of test in the pipeline? If we do it too early, we won't have any good feedback, or we get feedback, but it won't be meaningful. If we do it too late, we won't have time to remediate. And how we do the testing, whether it's white box, meaning we know what the internals look like, the internals of the code or the system, or if it's black box, we don't know the internals, we're treating it as an outsider, that will help us plan how and when we're going to do these. So we want early feedback, early rapid feedback versus no late surprises, right? And we're going to start focusing on the code, slowly move into talking about the quality, and then later we're going to focus on delivery. We want to keep these tests in order so that we can learn the right things at the right times. Unit testing, quick developer test. Does the code do what the developer intended it to do? Not necessarily what it's supposed to do. They need to be quick. They're going to be automated. And if we break anything, we need to stop right there. We're also going to look at the quality of the code. So static analysis tools. Are we building up too much technical debt, or that we're going to have to pay back later? Too much, and it's just going to get expensive to make changes down the road. Not just the code, but the tests. Are the tests running, executing enough lines? That's code coverage. And are they tested? If I push a button, do I get the results that I want, right? These are almost like unit tests for little pieces of each story. Acceptance tests are putting all those together. These are definitely black box tests, right? We are going to look at, can I accomplish a goal? Do all the functions work together? If everything's passed up to this point, if we get a break here, we're expecting that we're going to fix functions. That's what we're going to need to do to resolve these. Regression tests. Every time you make a change, you might have a chance of introducing new bugs. But every test that we run, once we've delivered that code, becomes a regression test, whether it's the unit test or the functional test. We also want to do smoke testing, right? Did we deploy correctly? That's really all we want to look at. Not the functions, not does the code work, just did we deploy it correctly? We need to fix the deploys as soon as we notice there's a problem, because otherwise future testing isn't going to be helpful. Now, a lot of the types of tests we're going to do are non-functional, right? Here's a long laundry list of them. But these are types of tests that don't look at the code, and they don't look at individual functions. They're looking at how the code behaves overall. Some types of non-functional testing worth looking at: performance testing. Jonathan already went over. Load testing, endurance testing. Load testing is, can we handle the expected load? Endurance testing is, we want to take that load and some more over a long period of time. Stress testing, when will it break? Okay, we want to keep throwing load at it until it breaks, and if it does break, we need more capacity. That might mean going back and doing some more design. So it might be too late if we do this all too late in the pipeline. Security testing is more non-functional testing. Vulnerability scanning and security scanning typically are looking for known issues from a laundry list of stuff we already know, right? They're typically not looking to see if there's new and fancy ways to break it that no one's ever heard of. Penetration testing uses something called red teams. They're external attacks. It's not exactly the same thing, because red teams are trying to improve people. Blue teams are resistance against red teams. Red teams are trying to improve the blue teams. Compliance testing is about whether or not we followed our process. Did we build the code the right way? Did we put in the right controls? And we're going to need to fix process and controls if we're having problems with compliance. It is not security testing. Manual testing. Not everything can be automated, and just about anything can be done, and a lot of things have to be evaluated manually. So if we're passing manual tests, these are things to fill in. Where might we need more tests? Where might we need more automation? And keep in mind that testing is a means to an end. It's not a goal unto itself, right? We need to be doing testing because it's going to help us do other things, because it's going to help us learn about the code and help us fix the things when we find it. That's it. Thank you very much. All right, any questions for me?